See ya.
This is one of the only cycle block walls in the world, and if you fall from the top, you will fall 8 meters.
I am terrified.
But luckily, we have Hazel Finley here, who is a mental training coach and known for her ascent of some of the world's hardest and most dangerous trad routes.
So she is going to save us if we die.
As well as trying the cycle block wall, Hazel is going to be giving us some mental training tips and techniques that will help us improve as climbers and reach our full potential. I'm hoping I'll be able to use these techniques on a scary trad project I have coming up, so subscribe to make sure you don't miss that video.
How I would approach something like this is like trying something new. You're probably fairly uncomfortable with it, or you might be, you don't know yet, there's lots of unknowns. Probably incrementally climb a little bit higher, see how it feels, and then we'd probably do some practice falls. I also am completely new to this as well.
Okay.
Never done any of this before. Okay, so I'm gonna... That was a really nice fall.
So I like to be caught like this or like this. Oh, it's like falling into a slightly damp mattress.
So maybe we'll take a fall like there, do you think?
Yeah.
Does it feel much higher?
I haven't really looked. No. Oh God. Not yet. I think it feels kind of this. No, it feels a bit higher. When am I gonna jump?
Do you want to jump or fall?
Oh, I hate this bit. How the fuck am I gonna fall from here? God, I'm gonna fall on your back, mate. Okay, 3, fall on your back. Yeah, I see the whiplash.
That hurt?
I wouldn't say hurt, but I can see what they mean about whiplash now.
Okay. Are we like the only people to ever like actually be like, can I fall off this thing?
Yeah.
They just assume that no one actually wants to fall off it. It's weird to be climbing for so long indoors without like a rope on.
Nice.
I mean, I kind of felt alright, actually.
Your landing looked better than mine. I filmed with a lot of people, but actually today I was the most nervous.
Why?
I grew up watching you on Real Rock, and I was like, oh my God, Hazel Finley's gonna watch me climb. Holy shit, I'm terrified. It's similar with Pete
If you'd
as
ever
well.
seen me climb indoors, you would have known not to be worried at all. So, if you've decided you're moving into a kind of a no-fall zone,
Yeah.
I think there's 2 things that will help you. One is to focus on your breathing, and if you start to feel stressed, extend your exhale. And the other one is to use this kind of mindfulness technique that I often use, where you, one of 2 things, you can try out both later, but maybe for now just pick one. Either feel how the holds feel under your skin,
Okay.
so you're kind of connecting to the sensation of the holds in your skin, or to really how they look. And that basically helps you be a bit more present.
Okay.
So sometimes when we're like in this slightly scary position, our brain starts to worry, like what will happen if I fall? What's the next hold like? I'm getting near the top. You know, your brain's kind of being negative.
Yeah.
And that can in turn stress you out a bit. So the deep breaths lower that stress level.
Yeah.
And then the focusing on the holds, how they feel or what they look like,
Okay.
helps you just be a bit more present in the moment.
I'm gonna go all the way to the top. I'm not too worried about this one because I think the chances of me falling off are pretty slim because it's like really big holds the whole way. But the one thing I'm thinking about is more when I get up to the top and I look down, like, oh, that's a long way. Then I don't want to put myself off trying the harder stuff by doing that. But it'll be okay. Hazel's there to catch me. So it already feels like I've climbed 10 meters because you start down there. Oh yeah, that's kind of getting high now. Yeah, that is actually, does feel quite high. I don't think I'd want to fall off up here. Oh, that's high. Oh dear. There we go. This is how I imagine El Cap
Yeah, you
feels
actually look small for the first time.
It is so high. Because that's a really joggy one, you know you're not going to fall off. But for the harder ones, it's going to be properly scary.
Like, I would really not want to fall off here.
Okay, now jump.
I genuinely wasn't expecting to get scared today because a lot of you might have seen that Hannah did this great video of it on here, and I was quite psyched by that. It doesn't look that high on camera, as everything, but in person it feels very high.
Did you use any of those stress management techniques?
I forgot I was too gripped. I don't tell Hazel though. When you were climbing with Sir Alex Honnold, have you ever seen him scared?
I've seen him a little bit scared, but like his stress response is just so much more muted than anyone else's.
Okay.
I've honestly seen him more stressed in like social scenarios. I mean, part of it's just all the work he's done. Like, we were talking about that exposure therapy. He's done that with free soloing like no one else in the world. You know,
Yeah.
he did start free soloing 5/6s, 5/8s, 5/9, doing hundreds of that grade, right? So. That's amazing. I've seen him take deep breaths. I've seen him break down the challenge level. He'll kind of like use tactics around like, well, let's just see what happens, you know? So instead of just being like, you know, like he'll tentatively like move towards a challenge rather than be like no or like yes, you know? I've also seen him make some like fairly questionable decisions as well. But he's a very, very good climber. Yeah. It does feel high, doesn't it?
It does feel high.
I think because it's also blue as well. You're like, actually, how high is that? I really want to practice it, but I also don't.
If you want to do it for the team, that's all right.
No thanks. I don't even know actually whether it's safe to take practice falls beyond a certain height.
Yeah. I've been known to fall off the easy part of routes many a time, and I presume the easy part is at the top, so for me it's probably a death sentence.
Why do you think you fall? Why do you think you fall off those easy parts?
I think I tense up, because I've got through the hard part, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And then I tense up, and then I
Yeah.
climb badly, but I climbed really well through the hard part, and
Yeah.
then I tense up, I'm like, oh no,
Yeah.
and then I fall off.
Yeah, it's very classic. Very
So I
classic.
do it a lot, yeah. Every first of the grade I've ever done, I've fallen off the top.
Nice.
Thank you.
So the main thing is to be more aware of when you're tensing up. And so, you know that tool I said about feeling the sensation in your fingertips? That will also help you give a gauge of like, am I over gripping? And as soon as you start to over grip, that's an indication that there's too much extra tension in your body,
Right,
which then you can offset with like deep breaths.
okay.
That kind of thing. Especially if the climbing's easier, you'll have the time and space to do that. So like next time you get up to that sort of section, you can hang out on a jug, take those deep breaths.
Yeah.
But there's also the underlying mindset issue of like maybe you were too outcome oriented, maybe
Yeah.
you had a bit of performance anxiety about sending the climb.
Yeah.
So that's also something to address as well.
Yeah. I get that every time, yeah.
Okay. All right, so what's next for us? Try something harder. There's not much chalk on those holes up there, is there? Do you notice
Yeah,
that?
there's not. Thanks for pointing it out. Normally, I wouldn't stress about a 7A because I think it's most of the time in my comfort zone. But I am stressed about now. Well, that's not great. How you look? Where am I going? You know what? I might saying this. I might.
Yeah, that one, I think. Yeah, and then left hand comes right next to it. And I think you're dropping actually down now. Or crossing over.
Jesus.
I think it's going all the way to the right. I think this
Yeah.
is a long, bumpy one. Whoa, that actually looks kind of hard.
Feels quite hard.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, is there holds out here?
Yeah. Go again, is a better one. No, that's white.
Oh no. He's cheated already.
Keep going. Yeah, nice.
I'm pumped.
Nice. Looks like you've got to do a massive move up. You're still fairly low, so feel confident. Nice, good fall.
That felt quite hard.
It feels sad to like start down here somehow. Oh my god. Down I go.
Come on. Oh, nice. Spicy.
Tricky move, isn't it? That's mean for the grade, I think.
I'm pleased Hazel said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't usually ever fall off 7A indoors.
No, actually, no.
But this is our
That's true.
opportunity to focus on the learning
Yeah,
rather
yeah.
than the grades.
Yeah. What Hazel said.
You're
Woo!
like inside dying.
Yeah.
Should we try another one? I think it would be fun to just try them all. Oh, no. I should have rested more. I think I did that wrong.
Coming into the crux, maybe. Come on. Nice. Got past the blue, yeah. Nice, Hazel. Nice. Cruising. Go on. Nice. Just made that look really easy. The thing is, Hazel isn't such a good climber. I've got to try to follow. Well done.
Oh, thanks, I'm really pumped.
That was amazing. Were you scared or not scared?
I could feel my stress levels up a little bit, but not to the point where I think it started affecting me too much.
Oh, that's good.
I believe in you.
Thank you, Hazel.
Yeah.
That means the world. That sounded so sarcastic.
I was being sarcastic too. No, just joking. Kind of.
Cue the Rocky music, except I'll get demonetized for that. So cue something similar. Da, 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 da.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Nice, yeah. That's a nice way of doing it. Again, this move is tricky. This move and this next move. It's going to make it a lot easier, I think. Nice. Nice, Josh. Deep breaths.
How are you feeling, Josh?
Busy. Bit scared. But only for anticipation. Whoa.
Nice. Pretty good. Come on. Feet on. Come on, Josh. Deep breaths. Really good. Nice. Come on. Hold it a little bit better. Now.
Whew.
Nice
I was
one.
over gripping much of this.
Bit over grippy.
Yeah. I'm still alive.
Well done.
It's weird
Nice
because like
one.
I don't feel like physically, I'm over gripping so much because of the anticipation for the top. But I find that physically, I'm pumped because I'm over gripping, but I don't think I'd normally be pumped on it because it's a really good hold the whole way.
It's just stress.
more-
You
yeah.
just elevate your stress level.
Yeah.
It's not like you're necessarily like terrified or anything.
Yeah.
And that's the same with performance anxiety, that people don't notice how it's affecting their performance because it's actually fairly subtle. You only need some of your mental energy or a bit too much extra stress for it to really affect your performance on something. So like one thing you could do to really like improve your climbing is learn how to better manage that stress. So like introducing a breath work into your climbing would be really good. Those mindfulness tools also would be really helpful as well.
Yeah, because I remember I was halfway up. I was like, oh, I remember what Hazel said. I did another move. It's like I forgot what Hazel said. It's like it's a hard.
Takes practice.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to implement.
It's better almost to implement them on your warm-ups, easy climbing, and then slowly bring them into your harder climbing. Like I've given you these tools on like quite a challenge.
I feel a bit nervous because Hazel is watching me.
That's most of it, isn't it?
That's all of it, actually.
It's just my judging
Yeah,
eyes.
yeah.
Like,
Hazel, you've done some stuff that I know I would find really scary. Big walls, very hard, scary trad stuff. Where do you find you get the most scared?
I wouldn't say that like any one of those things is more scary. Like it depends on the situation and the climb. Like I've definitely been really scared before like hard head point trad routes. Like I did a climb called Muy Caliente, and before that I was really scared, but I was able to focus when I got on the rock. And then like in Greenland last year, I climbed to the big walls of Alex Honnold, and that was like kind of like constant low level fear because there's like falling rocks and stuff like that, and it's just you feel like your kind of life's in danger nearly all the time basically. So that's pretty scary. But I know asking how to deal with it is too big a question, really. There's different ways of dealing with it in the moment, and then there's also different ways of working up to do something that you find scary. But you know, we've covered some of them today. You know, we practiced doing some of the falling, so that's like building confidence. And what you're doing a lot of the time with that kind of thing is you're actually turning unknowns into knowns. So like if you were to just climb this without ever testing the mats, you're probably going to be scared because you don't know what's going to happen if you fall. But as soon as you explore and try and figure out like, oh, I know what's going to happen, and I feel kind of okay about it, that's when you can start to build confidence. But people don't do that. They just go, oh, I want to just do it, and I want to like minimize all risk whatsoever, so I'm just not going to practice any falling. I'm just going to ignore the whole falling thing. and just like force myself to do it, right? So like so much of getting more comfortable with these different aspects of climbing is to like break down the challenge, incrementally expose yourself to the things that are scary, and basically turn unknowns into knowns. So a lot of it's like practice and that incremental exposure therapy, and then there's also things you can do in the moment, like breathing exercises, mindfulness tools, that kind of thing. But they're more like help a little bit. They're not the main meat of the work, which is really practice and time spent actually doing these things and, in a nutshell, challenging yourself appropriately.
Right, next route that Hazel and I have got to do is the black one, which is 7B. There's also not much talk on this one either. I think that either humans have died on this wall before and then others have not climbed it, or they're all new. Probably the first one.
I spied quite a long, committing, potentially powerful move, a bit higher than where we've fallen before. So it could be a good chance to test our confidence with the Seeker block situation.
Do you ever start reading a route and then when it's long you get bored and just want to start?
Yeah, I hardly ever read routes, honestly.
Okay, that's why I'm gonna start.
I know you're supposed to, but I'm just like, whatever.
Pro tip, don't read routes.
It's like, we're not in the Olympics, are we? It's not like our life.
No one cares.
Yeah.
All these holds are like slightly better than you think they are. Oh, I take it back.
Nice. Go on. Really good. Go on. Come on. So it's probably set as a rollover, that move,
Yeah,
isn't
the
it?
roll feels so far.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying that.
Nice. Go on. Strong. Come on.
I felt like I couldn't chalk up, so my hands were really greasy.
So we both landed exactly how the video said not to do.
Yeah.
Both still alive.
Yeah, fuck your hell. Thank you.
Nice. Come on, Hazel.
Ah! Felt really greasy. Oh, dear me.
I'm gonna try
Feels
again.
really hard, that move.
Hazel, I have a question.
Yeah.
You know when you're...
Who's the favourite YouTuber you've worked with?
No, that's tricky.
To be honest, I've only worked with two, so
Hannah and me.
yeah.
So me.
Yeah. Nice, Josh. Go on. Come on. Nice. Come on. Really good. Deep breaths. Yeah, well good.
Oh, that's good. Woo. I don't have a fall.
How was that landing?
It was alright. Yeah,
Nice one. That was good.
fine. I got a bit scared then because it was like the holes are getting smaller. And they're like, there's no chalk, they're quite greasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, my hands have.
Yeah. That's what I'm finding.
Yeah.
It's because they've not No one's climbed on it.
No, yeah,
We're pioneers.
we are pioneers. This is
Yeah.
the same as Hazel and Alex Honnold
In
doing
Greenland.
that Greenland thing. In
Yeah.
fact, some people would say this is harder and more dangerous.
Honestly, it could be.
Nice, Hazel. Come on. Nice. Go on, Hazel. Strong.
Wow, that move is hard. I could try rolling over, but I feel like I'd be like this.
The roll felt big for me.
Yeah.
And I'm quite a bit taller. I have a fair question. Who is your least favourite pro you've ever met?
How is that a fair question?
You might be scared to answer.
Well, yeah.
I don't know, I just wanted to... You don't have to answer that.
Don't think I can really say that
That's fair.
in the camera. Who's the least favourite person you've had on your YouTube? Obviously, I'm
Probably-
the most professional.
Yeah. I think Pete Whitaker, he was my least favourite. Yeah. He just laughed at me for being bad at crack climbing, and then I burnt him off on the cracks, and he told me, he sued me for being too good at crack climbing. So, yeah, he was my least favourite.
Despite recent comments, I must stress my client, Mr. Joshua Rundle, has fully accepted the ruling of the court and that he did indeed not burn off Mr. Whitaker. Mr. Rundle fully accepts Mr. Whitaker's position that there are, quote, blobs of primordial slime that make better crack climbers than my clients. Mr. Rundle apologises for misleading viewers and defaming Mr. Whitaker, and he apologises for misleading Miss Finley. And I apologise to anyone who's met my client.
So, we've talked a lot about getting your challenge level right, but how do you actually do that?
On one level, it's really simple. On one level, it's really not that simple. And I can tell you like the ways that a lot of people go wrong with it. So one thing that people do is that they'll think of that the challenge level is perfectly encapsulated by the grade, which it's not. It's also not even encapsulated by just like the physical difficulty of a climb. So you also need to take into consideration the psychological difficulty of a climb. So for many people, you know, you might be able to like top rope 6 feet in the climbing wall, but like not lead 6 feet in the climbing wall. And that's because although or even that exact same route. So the climb's not changed, but the way that you've climbed it's changed. So you've got to sort of break it down into these different facets. But like outdoors, there's loads of things that will affect the challenge level, like the exposure of a climb, like how many people are at the crag, how much you've eaten that day, whether you slept the night before, like, you know, there's so many things that will go into it. It's worth reflecting on those different facets. And then the main thing to do to get it right is to just start at a much lower challenge level and build up. You can be creative around getting that challenge level right from a physical perspective, and then from a psychological perspective, the main thing is to like build a self-awareness around what's actually going on internally for you. And that's the other big mistake people make, is they aren't actually switched on with like what's happening with their stress. So for example, you might be trying to climb outside and like it's a little bit scary for you, but it's about the right challenge level. But then you have a really stressful week at work and you go back to the crag and you're like, oh my God, why am I so scared? Why am I not doing very well on this climb? And you like don't even know what's up. But it's like if you had more self-awareness around checking in with yourself and going, oh, I'm really tired and overworked from work this week. I'm gonna like reduce the challenge level at the crag in whatever way you can. So like a nice little tool for people to take away is to like introduce check-ins into your climbing. So before you start off, asking yourself 2 questions: what am I thinking, what am I feeling? So you might notice certain thoughts coming up. You might also check in with your internal state and be like, okay, my stress is slightly elevated, I'm not feeling that great today, I feel like sluggish, fatigued. Or you might be like, I feel really light and happy and like psyched, you know. So basically like checking in with your internal state will help you get that challenge level right more often. Think of all the different ways you've trained harder to be stronger and fitter and all the rest of it, but like there could be some really small, simple things that you could adjust about your mindset that would have like the same result as like training really hard for 6 months or something, you know?
Seeing as Hazel as I has done everything else on the board, what we're going to do is we're going to try the 70 plus.
I mean, grades here.
Go on, there's a hold out right.
Yeah, but
Oh, it's a super high foot.
like, what are you supposed to do?
I don't know.
Really weird, isn't it? You're supposed to put. I feel like a really tall person sets these things. I think you're supposed to put heel on and roll all the way over you. I mean, look at that.
Sorry. Where am I going? What the fuck?
Good fall.
Thank you. Go on, Hazel. Nice. Oh, should do that easy.
I got it in a foot.
Go on. This hold is not as good as one would like. Oh, you got a knee bar.
So you've got to cross, right?
I went right hand to it.
Yeah, but then you were wrong-handed, weren't you?
True.
Oh, under maybe?
Come on. Come on.
You could do it that way though, I think. No.
Pro climbers seem to have like this switch they can flick where they suddenly like go into beast mode and try really, really hard. Can you train having that switch to be like, right,
Yeah.
now I try to the death?
It's a hard thing for me to coach in others. But it's definitely something you can train. Like I'm definitely better at it now than I was in my early career. But it's also, I think, the thing that like has got me up so many of the hard things I've ever climbed. Like it's kind of a superpower for me. But it's also caused me to have injuries too. So if you can tap into it, like also be careful of it, even though when you're in that state it's really hard to be. But yeah, I think one thing you can do is kind of like reflect on how hard you've tried on an attempt and give yourself a bit of a rating, like out of 10, and then like try and push it on your next attempt, which works well for like bouldering. But I think you also might want to reflect on the reasons why you might not be trying hard. And I think sometimes people don't try hard because of something like fear of failure. So they're just like, oh, I'm not going to do the climb anyway, so I'll just drop off here. Like this is a common thing that happens. Whereas like if you can get into the mode of like, well, one more move is just as valuable. It's amazing what you can do when you start just trying really, really hard. And then the other reason why some people can't try very hard is fear of falling. Bouldering, lead climbing, all kinds of climbing. If you've got any amount of doubt about the fall, it's going to be really hard to give it your maximum attempt. That concludes our
absolute beasting on the on the cycle block. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're not following Hazel already, you should do so. The links are in the description. Join her Strong Mind courses. I'm on both of them.
You just have to do them now.
You could do the outro if you like. I have a specific outro. You have to say "Love you, bye, peace" and tap the lens.
Love you, bye, peace.
Maybe you have. It's okay.